And we're back with winemaker Norm Hardie and wine lover Joe Hache in Norm Hardie's wine cellar in Prince Edward County, Ontario, thus the wine barrels behind them. So we have been talking about your Pinot Noir, Norm. Why don't you hold up the bottle for us so we can get a look at the label?
Yeah, this is that's a little Magnum.
There you go. That's the wine that won. Oh, that's a Magnum. Oh, that's great. That's a pizza party wine.
Absolutely.
So your wine was named Canada's best wine with pizza. Let's talk a little bit about though Prince Edward County, because I think it's everybody agrees who's kind of in the know with wine that it's Canada's up-and-coming region. But Joe, let's start with you. Why do you think the wines of Prince Edward County are getting more and more recognition these days?
Well, I think there's a passion here. I've been in wineries around the world. We moved here 4 years ago just for the wine. We didn't know anybody here. We went to other areas, but we wanted to move where there was a passion for wine. And I used the story that I brought my opinion members to Norm Hardie's winery, for example, 3 years ago. He served his first pizza with my group, but he didn't just get up and talk about wine. He brought them out into the field and he held up dirt and he said, "This is what makes our wine special." Like, there's a passion in the county. Norm's very passionate. There's a lot of other passionate people, but like Norm, for example, just the way he did that, our members just love that. They learn so much, and it's the passion of the wine. And there's experience. Norm, for example, has made wine on 4 different continents. There's a lot of experience here, and it's actually all coming together now.
Right. And what would you say, Joe, is the biggest difference between Prince Edward County wines and those from Niagara or other areas of Canada? What really is the signature for you for Prince Edward County wines? Taste-wise, I guess.
For me, well, I've tasted wines from all over, as you know. But here in the county, there's that minerality. I think it's a limestone that's coming out in it, and I'm learning about it. I'm no expert of wine. I love wine. And like Norm and winemakers like him know all the technical details, but I'm learning it as I go along. And I think it's a minerality. It is totally different from anywhere else in Canada.
Okay. And Norm, there's a lot of talk about minerality. People find it hard to get their heads around this concept. How would you explain it in layman's terms? What are we looking for when we taste, smell minerality?
Well, I think you can smell it, but you more taste it. You know, as you said, there's been a lot of discussion. Is there such a thing as minerality? I absolutely firmly believe it. When I taste my Pinots and my Chardonnays that I make here, the mineral element, there's a purity. I always think about drinking water that's just come off a waterfall. There's a purity. There's a absolute cleanliness about it. That sort of just coats the middle of your tongue, and I firmly believe in minerality. And I know there are a lot of soil scientists that say, "Oh, you can't do that," but soil is your foundation. Taste tomatoes that are grown out of soil versus tomatoes that are grown hydroponically. They taste different, and what it comes down to is the soil.
Absolutely. That's a good point. That's a good comparison to help understand that concept. And Norm, why is it that you make a very limited range of wines in terms of you've got your Pinot Noir, your Chardonnay, your Pinot Gris? I think that's about it, is it?
We've got a few others, a few enigmas here and there that we make in small amounts. We try and make the only varietals we do are from Burgundy North. And a number of reasons. Climatically, we're very similar, at least not winters, but in the summers. Secondly, we have a clay and young limestone that we see in France, that Arca limestone that starts in Alsace and goes through Champagne and through Paris and back through Loire and through Chablis. Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Gris, and Riesling are my big 4, and certainly the big 2 are Chardonnay and Pinot. And I try to keep it focused because we do cool climate well, and our soils and our climate are cool climate. And there's no use buying in fruit from warmer regions because that's not what we do. My focus is cool climate, and those are the wines I understand, and those are the wines I love to drink. And also, cool climate wines with the vibrant acidity work really, really well with food, and we like to eat and drink together.
Absolutely. And Joe, if someone's visiting Prince Edward County, of course, you'd suggest that they visit Norm's winery, try his wines and his pizza. what else would you suggest they do? Of course, there's your favorite wineries, but what can people do when they go to Prince Edward County to really get a taste of the county?
Well, a taste of the county, I think you said it right there. There are so many fine restaurants here in the county. All the restaurants in the county carry county wines. You know, there's sandbanks here, there's everything. But, you know, for us, it is the wine. And Natalie, I want to say, if you want to experience the county, Norm does, a lot of the wineries have come and help with a harvest sort of thing. But Norm puts on a special party, and this is my invite to you. Come on down and pick grapes for a day. He serves his pizza out in the vineyard, and at the end of the day, he throws one heck of a party with his Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, pizza. It's pigs. It's an incredible day, and you would get the full experience of the county.
That sounds amazing. Is that sort of late September, early October sometime?
Yeah, late September, early October. Yeah, if anyone is interested, they just email us, and then we have a picking database, and as we're getting about 3 weeks out, we say, well, we think it's going to be around here, and then we just update you. It's a great experience, and I think, you know, just to elaborate a little bit also on the county, you know, there are close to 30 wineries here. The food culture. I came here in 2001, and there was like one restaurant in the county. Now there are, you know, 10 that could do a great job, whether in Toronto or Ottawa or Montreal. They're these standalone great restaurants in those cities. And then the pure nature of the county, and it's 2 hours from Toronto, it's 3 hours from Ottawa, and 4 hours from Montreal. We sit right in the middle of the vortex of that triangle.
Wow, there's no excuse for me either. I got to be there picking grapes. Okay, so terrific, good overview of the county, and I love the wine and food matching aspect that we talked about. Let's just wrap it up. Let's start with you, Norm. What role do you think People's Choice Wine Awards have in our Canadian wine and food culture?
Well, I think this is a fantastic step in the sense that we've had that whole local food movement, and, you know, the chefs have really embraced local cuisine and local produce, and the sommeliers in the last few years have really sort of got on board with that. And I think what this pairing is going to do, it's going to bring a lot of light to the Canadian public, and that we have these great wines and they work well with our foods here. And it's another great step in getting people to drink great Canadian wines with food at home or when they eat out.
Terrific. And Joe, you are a great advocate for a lot of wines in Prince Edward County, in addition to Norm's. What role do you think People's Choice Wine Awards have when it comes to Canadian wine?
Well, I think that the People's Choice Awards, like my partner knows a heck of a lot as a sommelier. Norm more about wine than I do. I love wine, and, you know, there's thousands and thousands of people across Canada like me that love wine, and the People's Choice is wine lovers speaking, not the experts that tell us what we like. We know what we like, we know what it pairs with, and that's my passion, is food and wine. And so it gives regular people like us a chance to say what we like.
Terrific. Well, I'll drink to that. Then again, I'll drink to anything, but especially with Norm's Pinot Noir. So cheers to you both, and thank you for joining me today.
Cheers, Natalie. Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie.